Hotelier on the Grill. Good afternoon, I'm Stuart J. Raj and welcome to Hotelier on the Grill. We're here at the Dream Hotel, boutique hotel in Bangkok today with the general manager, Mr. Robert Jaermann. Welcome.
Thank you very much, and thank you to give me this opportunity.
Certainly.
To speak to you.
Now, rather than me introducing you, would you be able to just give a very brief introduction about yourself? Not too much, because we'll get further into that during the interview.
I will gladly do so. My name is Robert Jaermann. I'm Swiss from the German-speaking part of Switzerland, from Solothurn. And actually, I'm 64 years old already. And a hotelier since young age. I was always working in the hotel business.
Wow. So you've been in the industry for a long time. So I guess we could jump straight into the questions, 12 standard questions. And whatever comes to mind first is usually the best answer. Question number 1. Where did you first cut your teeth in the hotel industry? Where did you first start?
Yes, maybe the reason why I went into the hotel industry, when as a young boy I was always reading. I was reading Karl May, I was reading, Treasure Islands and things like that. A lot of books, and I always wanted to travel. So that was initially, I was thinking the best way to do that is to be a chef on a cruise ship. So that's the main reason before, and actually then I started with an apprenticeship as a chef, but I never made it to a cruise ship.
Wow. So question number 2 then, when was your first big break?
That's not so easy to answer. I think in my career there were many breaks.
Right.
But yes, the first break, I would say, my decision to make an apprenticeship in the kitchen as a chef. Everything started from there. And then, of course, later I did all the basic jobs, like especially in Switzerland, you start your careers with the basic jobs, such as a chef. And then I was working as a waiter, I was working as a barman, I was working at the front office, all these basic jobs.
They were all in the hotel?
All followed later, always in the hotel industry, yes.
Wow. So question number 3, why were you able to make it to where you are here now at Dream Hotel in Bangkok as the general manager, where others may have failed or not made it this far?
I always had great passion and enthusiasm, which you have to do. If you work in this industry, in the hotel business, there are also maybe disadvantage. You work long hours and work on sometimes on Sundays and Saturdays. But you have to have a big passion and enthusiasm, and you have to like to interact with people, to meet people, to travel. So that was the reason, and I think I didn't plan so much my long career. Sometimes there was an opportunity which came and I took it.
Right.
And I think another good reason is simple. As a hotelier, you always have to make the best out of your resources, what you have available. Financial resources, technical resources like the hotels or whatever. And then the most important is really, we are in the people right. industry. So it's the human resources.
Right.
And I always emphasized a lot on the human resources. And, I was training manager. I was a teacher at the hotel school in Kenya, and I gave a lot of seminars during these times about how to motivate people, leadership skills, how to get
right.
out the best of the people. And I think these helped me a lot to be, where I am today.
Fantastic. So you've been in Kenya, in Australia, in Asia, in Switzerland.
Yes.
Surely you've had your ups and downs. Question number 4, could you tell us about your darkest moment?
Yeah, the darkest moments. Which was, yes, I think I have there one situation which in one way was dark and unpleasant, but at the same time, it was also a very interesting experience. That was, I managed then the hotel, the Red Sea Palace in Jeddah, and that was then during the first Gulf War in Iraq. And of course, we were always, many people were leaving, the families were leaving, some of my expat managerial employees left the country. And at the same time, many people from the other side, which was nearer to Kuwait, from Jubail or from Riyadh, they all came down to Jeddah. So our hotel was fully booked. But then it was always, you never knew what's going to happen. You always expected some Scud missile dropping down, like it happened in Riyadh, for example. Then you had blackouts in the city. You always expected something to happen. And this was not only for me or for my wife, but especially for the staff and for the guests, a very difficult situation. So we had to do, and I did then a lot of talking and persuading and calming down, and made sure that the staff stayed on. And eventually we were lucky. We were not really directly involved like some friends in Riyadh or in Jubail.
So leading on to that, and you've already answered some, question 5, how did you get through it? How do you get through these hard times?
Yes. How did I get through this hard time? First of all, I was very confident. You never can predict what is going to happen, but somehow I just was confident that it will be okay. And as I said, it was very difficult, but at the same time, you experienced that all the staff and even the guests and everybody came closer together, stick together, talk, and that helped everybody. That helped me, and that helped my staff and also the guests. And I think that was the reason. We communicated a lot, interacted with the staff, and we said, no, we are here all together and we will come through that, and it will be all right.
So you turned a crisis into a positive outcome.
I think somehow like that, yes.
Question number 6, what drives you?
Yes, what drives me? First of all, I really, as I mentioned before, I'm very enthusiastic about my job. And I like interacting with people. I'm very motivated, I had in my career a chance to meet so many important people, interesting people, like for example, Muhammad Ali in Saudi Arabia. He stayed with us for a long time, and we had close discussions and things like that. He was at this time still okay, with his Parkinson, what he had. Or I meet other famous people, but not only famous people. I met so many people and I learned so much, and this is one of the main motivation. And the second thing I have to say, in my career, I stayed very long with some companies. For example, the Gustar Hotelier and Restaurateurs. We were the pioneer in Saudi Arabia. We basically built and managed the first international first-class hotels in Saudi Arabia for the King Faisal Foundation. And with this company, a small company operating out of Zurich, I stayed about 14 years. Wow. But what was interesting, we were all very young people. Our president was older, but we were all young graduates from the hotel school in Lausanne. And it was really a pioneer work, and we could travel, and there was always something new. We had new hotels coming in. We managed also then restaurants in Switzerland. We had our own purchasing company. We produced our own coffee, brand marks. We had, for example, the distribution of the Maxim champagne in Switzerland. So very interesting work, creative work. And also later, I worked nearly 14 years with Gustar. I managed the Amari Airport Hotel. Now, with a break in between for 2.5 years when I went to Sydney, Australia. And this hotel, usually I could not work for so many years in one place.
Right.
But at this hotel, we had construction. We added 140 more rooms. We added an executive floor. We implemented new restaurants, like Japanese restaurant, Thai restaurant, French restaurant. And then we renovated all the old building. So you see, this keeps me going because it's always something new, exciting coming up.
It sounds like you have an entrepreneurial spirit. With all these people around you during your career, question number 7, do you have a mentor? And if so, who and why?
Mentor. I think I had many. I had many people who helped me, who I was looking up, who were my, sample of doing the things which I try to follow. For example, there were big chefs. When I was a young chef in the Intercontinental in Geneva, I was there 19, 20 years old. There was a very famous chef, Raymond Sauger, very strong personality. He helped me a lot. And later, another person I could mention here is Kurt Ruffley. He was the managing director of the Amari chain here. He built it up from the beginning. And as I said, I worked about 8 years with Amari. And there was a person I looked up because of his very organized way, very strict commitment, whatever you really could, how can I say, if he said something, it's going to be that way. It was very professional approach, very open communication. This was a person I really respected. Also, sometimes he was quite tough, and very demanding, but nevertheless, he was so correct, and he was always not only telling you what to do, but he gave you hints on how to do and how to achieve. So that was, for example, a mentor I really appreciated very much.
That's great. Now, question number 8. Could you tell us of an experience in your career that's made you proud?
I think that there are many such experience. I think, for example, the case in Saudi Arabia. I never give up. I always want to complete. I never run away of something. And sometimes, in your work, there are always moments where it's getting frustrated with the owner or something like that. And I said, no, you do your work, you do your best, and you try to convince the person that this is the correct way to do. So in this respect, not giving up, I think this I always regard it as an achievement.
Tenacity.
For example, in this hotel during the Gulf War, I stayed 4 years. I did not go during the war until everything was quiet, calmed down. So that I looked as a very positive experience.
Right. So tenacity.
Which made me proud. Yes.
Question number 9. What's the best advice that you could give somebody looking to be a successful GM?
There are, of course, many ingredients to be a good GM. I would say, first of all, you have to be good in business, in administration. Nowadays, everything is financial management. That's very, very important. But still, when I say what is the most important, I come down to the human resources. It's the people. And I think motivating people, giving a good sample, teaching the people, preparing the people for the job, that they exactly know what you expect, what the skills they need, what knowledge, what behavior they have. So, and working with people and motivating them, because in the hotel we are really in kind of show business, even if we are sick or in a bad mood, we always have to smile and be friendly and helpful. Also, sometimes it's difficult, you know, and for the staff, the same. And then I would say still nowadays, they have managers who really come only through business administration or like Cornell or so.
Right.
And I still believe if a manager, a general manager, or a manager who knows the basic jobs, he has a better understanding for the people. You know, he knows how a chef is working, he knows how a dishwasher is working, he knows how a waiter is working.
Right.
And he has a better understanding, and therefore maybe it's easier to lead people.
So how about question number 10 then on the other
Yes.
side? Because there are many people listening to this who are training to be GMs and they're in the industry.
Yes.
What's one thing that hotel GMs shouldn't get wrong, or maybe that you've seen them getting wrong?
I think very important is also towards, let's say, the company you work for or towards the owner. You have to be honest, and you have to be straightforward, and you should never, even sometimes they might be tempting, you know, you should not get into situations to take kickback or anything. So when your CEO or your management company or the owner know, to this person I can 100% trust, I think this is sometimes a mistake people do. And the second is certainly that many people, they give up too early, they quit, you know, when difficult situation comes, and I have many colleagues I know, and they always change. That's okay. In the hotel business, you need to change, you need to work, you can learn a lot and you can become a better GM. But if you each time quit and in your CV, in the end, you work here 6 months, you give up after 1 year, I would then not hire such a person. So I think many people make these mistakes in the hotel business, in the management, that they change too often and too fast because they give up at the first problems which comes. And basically we are here to handle the problems and the crisis as well, not only the good times.
Great. That's a very insightful answer. Question 11. This is the final question on the hotel-based questions.
Yes.
If you weren't in the hotel industry, what's your ideal alternate career?
That's very interesting. I think there are 1 or 2 things which hopefully I can do somehow when I'm retired. I would like to be a writer. I think especially, you know, when I was young, as I say, and still now I'm reading a lot of books. And at school I was very good in writing German, of course, at the time. And the second thing, I think, might be a gardener or something like that. Working in the nature, you know, in the forest or in a garden, you know, creating a nice garden. So maybe that would have been something I would have liked to do.
That would be
instead
nice.
of the hotel business.
That would be nice. One side academic writing and the other side out in nature.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Robert.
Thank
Now we
you.
have our final question here that's a bit different from the rest of the questions, but it lets us see
All
you
right.
a little, who you are from another side. Nowadays, we all have our mobile phones with us. What is one app that you find yourself currently hooked on or using, or that's caught your attention?
Oh, that's, I think it's a TripAdvisor, because nowadays everything changed. You know, even I myself, I have to learn. We are now very much in these new techniques, and we use it. I'm addicted to the Facebook. I write hours and hours about the hotel, private on the Facebook. But as a hotelier nowadays, you have to really know what your guests are thinking, and you have to, you know, look on the feedback. There are many tools nowadays available, but for example, the TripAdvisor, many people traveling nowadays, they go just check the hotel out. And of course, you always might have a little bit, some few comments which are not so good, but it gives you a feedback. You see, oh, that's the real feedback. You know what the guests think, and so that's a tool I use.
That's
to
great. It's
check
like looking in a
kind of-
mirror.
Yes, yes. And also when I travel or go somewhere, I do the same.
Right.
You know, and then I have 5, 6, 7 comments which are positive. Not everybody can be happy. So you also might find some negative, but then you think, no, most of the people think it's a good place. So then I use that a lot, for example.
Thank you very much, Mr. Robert Yu Jaermann, the general manager of the Dream Hotel, a boutique hotel in Soi 15 in Bangkok, Thailand. We've had many insights into your career here, and I hope that these are going to help those people out there looking to progress in the industry. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It was a great pleasure talking to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hotelier on the Grill.